Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on chess jokes, fun and games. Do you know this joke? A chess master died. Very sad. After a few days, a friend of his heard a voice. It was the master. What's it like where you are now? The friend asked. What do you want to hear first? The good news or the bad news? Tell me the good news first. Well, it's really heaven here. There are tournaments and blitz sessions going on all the time. Morphy, Aljachin, Lasker, Tal, Capablanca, Botvinnik, Fischer, they're all here and you can play them. Fantastic, the friend said. And what is the bad news? Well, you have the black pieces against Fischer on Saturday. And what about this one? A guy comes across an old friend sitting alone at a restaurant table and lost in thought. After a few minutes of talking, his friend said, "My girlfriend told me that if I take part in this chess tournament, then that's the last straw. She's leaving." Concerned, the guy asked, "So what are you gonna do?" "Well, 1, e2, e4 of course." I have a few more of you at the end of this video, a few cartoons. But first let's look at some fun on the board. This is a composition of the Soviet composer Adabashev, and it was published in the magazine 64 in the year 1938, and it is what we call a quadruplet retractor. White retracts his last move and instead mates in one move. And he does that in the diagram position, and he does that also with all pieces one rank up, and then with all pieces 2 ranks up. All the pieces will end up 2 ranks higher, and finally with all the pieces 3 ranks up, so all the pieces will end up here. And then we have the same task. White retracts his last move and instead mates in 1. Each position has a different and unique solution that is as easy to find as the whole thing is witty, as Tim Krabbe writes on his website. If we study the position, we quickly get to the conclusion that we would like to give mate with this rook by getting these 2 pawns out of the way, and at the same time preventing the bishop on d1 to take our rook on a4. How can we do this? So we have to retract a move, take the last move back that white made, and then make another move, which would then be mate in 1. If you want to look for yourself how white can do this, put the video on pause. It's not very difficult. I will give the solution now. What white needs to do is take his last move back, which was c2, c4. So the pawn goes back to c2, and then instead of c2, c4 he plays d4, d5, and that is checkmate. The c-pawn is nicely blocking the path for the bishop. It cannot take the rook, and this rook delivers checkmate. And this rook takes the squares on the 5th rank away, and the king covers d squares. So you take back the move c2, c4, and instead you play d4, d5, checkmate. Problem solved. But as said, this was a quadruplet retractor. So we're going to move all pieces 1 rank up the board. So we have this initial position, all pieces 1 rank up. And again, we have to retract white's last move and play another move that will deliver checkmate on the spot. Again, if you want to look for yourself, put the video on pause. I will give the solution now. And in fact, we have to go back 2 half moves. This is the initial position to make it happen, where black played c7, c5. And instead of taking that pawn with the b pawn, b takes c5, which was the initial position we just looked at, instead of that move, white plays d takes c6 en passant. And that is checkmate. Again with this rook. And the b pawn is nicely making sure the bishop doesn't take that rook on a5. So again in slow motion, black played move c7, c5, and instead of taking with the b pawn, we take that move back and we play d takes c6 en passant, and that is checkmate. Very nice, and hope you agree, quite witty. But we're not finished. We're going to move all pieces up 1 rank once more. And then we have this picture, and again white retracts his last move and instead plays a move that will result in mate on the spot, mate in 1. How does white do that? And again we have to go 2 half moves back. This was the position 2 half moves ago. Black played c7, c5, And instead of taking with the b pawn, b takes c6, which is the position we just looked at. White is not playing that move, he's taking that move back and he's playing d6, d7, checkmate instead. And again, this was a different solution than the previous two. So in slow motion, c7, c5, we do not take the pawn en passant, but instead we play d6, d7, checkmate. And for the last one, we're going again to move the pieces one rank up. And we saved the best for last because this one is really nice and witty again. All pieces one rank up, white to retract his last move and instead give mate in one. How can we do that? White's last move was c6, c7 and we're going to take that move back. Instead we're going to promote the d-pawn, but not to a queen. Yes, this would be checkmate, apart from the fact that now the rook can be taken by the bishop. That rook was a checkmating piece. So promotion to a queen is not good, but what can we do? Yes, we can promote to a knight, and that is double check and checkmate. Taking the rook on a7 is now not possible because the knight also gives check to the king. You can only get out of a double check by moving the king, but the king has no squares and this is checkmate. So one more time, instead of c7 we play d8, promotion to a knight, and that's the solution to this problem. A quadruple retractor with 4 unique solutions. I hope you enjoyed it and that it brought a smile to your face. A composition from M. Ada Bashev, published in 1938. And I hope you find these cartoons funny as well. The policeman saying, "You were swerving pretty badly back there. Let's see if you can walk a straight line." The knight will have trouble doing that. Or the wife saying to her husband, "Let me guess, you did not get the promotion." I find that one quite funny. And what about this last one? The pawn saying to the knight, "We're very proud of our son. In his last letter he said he made it all the way to the other side of the board." And the other pawn saying, "He's coming back to visit today. Apparently he has big news." And yes, there he comes, shuffling back to his parents, and the expression on his face is hilarious. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it brought a few smiles to your face. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. I'm also looking forward to more jokes. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.